In this lesson, we're going to discuss working with smart guides. If you'd like to follow along, go under the File menu to Open, and in the Sample Files folder, select 0406, Working Smart with Smart Guides, and just click Open. Before we get into smart guides and how they work, let's make sure that they're actually enabled. If you go under your View menu to Grids and Guides, if Smart Guides is checked, that means that Smart Guides are on. They should be on by default. If they're not on, reselect Smart Guides, and you'll see that when you go back to the menu, Smart Guides will be checked. Let's go to our Rectangle tool. I'm going to click and drag from my left margin slightly under the existing rectangle that's on my page, and watch what happens. When I get to the center of the object above, the right side of my new rectangle is actually snapping right to it. Let me continue dragging across. When the two objects are exactly the same width, Smart Guides are actually indicating that with these arrows under each object. Let me continue dragging downward. When I have those indicators to the right side of the objects on my page, that means that those objects are now exactly the same height as well. Let me let go of my mouse, and I'm going to draw another rectangle further down the page. I'm just going to click and drag and make them the same width. And you'll see that the Smart Guide indicators are letting me know that they're the same width. Let me drag downward, and now they're also the same height. I'm going to release my mouse and now go back to my selection tool. Watch what happens as I begin to drag upward. It's letting me know that both sides of the objects are lining up, as well as the center. When my bottom object is exactly the same distance from the object above it as the object above it is to the object above that, you'll see these indicators that are letting me know that the space between the objects is equal. And if I let go, I have equal space between the objects. Let me go outside of the bounding box of my bottom object. I'm going to go to the upper right bounding box point slightly outside the object and begin to click and drag around. And you can see it's rotating the object. I'm going to go to about minus 35 degrees. I can actually see that in the little Smart Guide pop-up note. And if I let go, my object is rotated 35 degrees. I can actually look in the control panel and you can see it says minus 35 degrees. Let me go to my selection tool again and click on the edge of the object immediately above the rotated object, and go once again slightly outside the upper right bounding box point and click and drag to rotate the object. And once again, the little note is letting me know how much it's rotated. And when it's rotated exactly the same amount as the object below, you can see Smart Guides is letting me know that. And if I let go, my two objects are rotated exactly the same amount. Let me click on the object above, and I'm going to click and drag. The little pop-up note is letting me know what the XY coordinates are of this particular object. And you can see that the X and Y coordinates of the object are exactly the same as they are in the control panel. Let me keep dragging. And you can see right now it's letting me know that the center of my rectangle that I'm moving is actually aligned with the right corner of the rectangle immediately below it. So Smart Guides will pop up whenever you move or rotate an object, and they'll also pop up as you're drawing objects. So you'll be able to tell how they're aligned with other objects on your page, and also when they're the same size as other objects on your page. So they're really quite smart to use. Are there times that smart guides are not smart? Absolutely. Like if I was moving this object and I was trying to get it to an exact position and it kept snapping to a smart guide. Because it's snapping to a smart guide, it may prevent me from getting to the exact position I want. Another example, let's say I'm using my pen tool and I click with my pen tool and then I click and drag with my pen tool to drag out these handles to create a curve. And you can see that the ends of my handles are actually snapping right to other objects on my page, different parts of my page, and it may be preventing me from making the exact curve that I want. So whenever smart guides are getting in your way, just go under the View menu to Grids and Guides and simply uncheck Smart Guides, and you'll be able to do exactly what you want afterwards. But make sure to turn them back on because usually smart guides are really smart and are quite helpful in working on a layout. In the next lesson, we're going to continue discussing working with objects.